You already know we back in this thing on time. We early with it. You heard me this week. 8 o'clock
Live
on the
and
dot,
direct.
live and direct. And I don't know, man. These past months it has been bearish, but it's still been bouncing from these low points it's been reaching from. And I'm gonna go into a few detail. Like for instance, this is the beginning of June up here, and yeah, we've been dropping into this low, but as soon as we got there, it's been like hella choppy. Like it's been no just continuation. Like every time it dropped, it pops back up into the zone, so to speak. And let's look like what we're doing right now. But this was the two from back in the past when we talked about, I think like a few months ago. This low from last year, and then the low of the beginning of this year was kind of holding support right here, and then we broke it in May, beginning of May. Soon as we broke it, popped right back in to this big range area right here, and came back down. Didn't break this low, but again broke the low of broke that support from last year and earlier this year. And since then, it's been continuing on the downtrend. Like it's been bearish, but it's not clean like this bearish move, and that's really what I'm waiting on to continue that. But as it's starting to retest and come back up, I think it has every right to come back into those lows. And what I mean, those old lows from last year and the beginning of this year, which is 69, really like 70 flat, 70 cents flat, which is right up in here. I think it's more cleaner to say it's going to go to 69, 65, but I feel like we got a high chance of it shooting up. But I don't know. We at least got to break this point because that's where it rejected from last strong right here. So we at least got to break up to 68, 70 area plus. So if anybody been experiencing buys and sales this past month of, I'm gonna say the middle of June towards the end, it's been kind of choppy. Even though it's bearish, it's not been respecting like a continuous flow. Once it breaks certain lows, it retests back up into the zone. Like it's not a strong continuation like we've seen from this high up here. So with that being said, I could mark up, just put a few little ideas on how high we can go, where we can go. I say for sure here, the 6860 zone, and then the old zone of 76, which is right here. If we start to push bullish, that's two targets I could see us looking at. Besides it breaking past old daily highs, because that's a trend in itself. It's breaking old highs or breaking old lows. That's how you determine a trend continuation. And right now, this green line right here indicates the old daily high. And if I can zoom in on the hourly, you can see we already broke past that. start to see if we get some form of continuation bullish. But this is Sunday, like we always say, so I'm not expecting it to shoot up right there today, but for the continuation of the week, that could happen. Anything you've been saying that you've been looking at over the past few months? I mean,
Man, I just been looking at and watching y'all, man. Just trying to follow along with you. Still,
no,
I'm
fact,
still
fact.
learning and still, coming
Yeah, yeah,
along,
yeah.
bringing up the rear. But
Right, right, right,
yeah, nah, just scrolling daily. You know how it is with the chat. Trying to
right,
just
right.
keep up, follow along, and make sure I'm on point.
No, facts. Man, like I said, with that, with the chat, all we do basically is just want to keep everybody updated for the most part. Like,
Right,
you might not learn all kind of steps to this or lingo to that, but you will be in the know of
right.
what's happening
Nah, and it's
with the
gonna take
Australian
me
dollar.
just keep going with the
Yeah, yeah,
outside, the outside of the chat too. Getting
yeah, yeah.
the different YouTubes and different little things that I can pull here and there.
Hmm.
My thing is still, just trying to gauge when I want to, jump in and jump out.
Right. And I've been testing over the past 2 weeks, testing a smaller time frame
Yeah,
type of entry strategy. So in the
I gotta
future, we
start, and that's my thing.
talk
I gotta
about
start
that.
doing testers more, because I'll sit there with the live account, and it's like, do it, don't do it, don't do it, do it. You know.
I mean, and with that, I mean that's just you in the market, so you still take the trade, but you're not putting heavy risk on. So even if you
Right.
win a lot or lose a lot, your emotion, that's just a way to remove the emotion out.
Yeah.
You know,
And kind of can confirm if you thought you saw something in the trade, and it's like, okay, this is what I saw.
facts,
It actually confirmed it. Now going
facts.
forward, if I see it, and it's live account versus being a tester,
You have more
you
confidence
know,
in it.
there you go. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But that's where it really been where I've been at. Um, but now just thinking about it, with you reminding, them testers, I got to get more testers out there, so I can start confirming.
Oh yeah. And it ain't nothing but just lowering your lot size overall.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Simple as that. But overall, another thing that I've seen that helps me um, with my confidence
Uh huh.
is entering and finding good entries on a smaller time frame, like the 15 minute, maybe even the 5, but for sure the 15 minute,
Right.
and placing a stop loss that's tight and not super tight, but like 10 pips. So wherever I enter at,
Right.
10 pips is mostly, maybe 20 if I need room for the trade to go into my favor. But 10 pips
Right.
is like a good stop loss to place on damn near every trade, and at least you can get a string of trades that maybe hit your stop loss,
Yeah.
and you'll have a better understanding on what you did wrong when you did it wrong like 10 times versus just once.
Okay.
You can
Okay.
kind of see it and you can review your issues versus if you just did it once and be like, oh man, this something not working right. But it's like, nah, you got to give it a week or two of analyzing, going over the trades you took. Even like I said, even if it's tested, just something to just play with, just to get a feel for how fast the market should move in your favor and vice
Right.
versa.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. See, that's been what I've
Because
been
that,
mostly doing is trying to gauge. Now, has it been sometimes where, let's say you looked and you jumped in a trade, let's say on a 15 minute, and then it's like, okay, you wanted 10 pips, maybe 20 pips, but then you see on the hour it's starting to go, also the same way, and you just stayed in it and rode it.
yeah, the only thing that make me stay in off top is if it's two things. Is if the market breaks a structure, meaning like say how it's moving up right here. Like see, you see the market moving up, then it come down, and then it move up again. Like that's a structure move because it created a lower high, which this is a low, and then it's a lower high. Like, and then this one is a lower high. Like it's a lower point, but it's higher than the last one. So they call it a lower high. So once I see that structure, and as price is going up, if anything, I'm gonna have my stop loss below the lowest point. If anything,
below the lower high.
Yeah, but right below the lowest, the most lowest high right here. Okay, and then when it moves up and creates another one, I'll move my stop loss up here. Now, if I'm in this trade right here, and I see I'm in profit right here, and then they come back down, and I'm like, damn near down to break even, like I'm back at where I entered at, I'm not gonna sweat it because it didn't come down here. Now, if the market comes down here and it taps in here, and my stop loss is here and it takes me out, I'm cool with that because if anything, I could potentially get back in where I got stopped out at, and then it could go back out if I see it on the smaller time frame, because I won't be able to know that on the hourly like this time frame that we're seeing now. But one thing is when the market is coming down like it did on this candle, I would instantly go to the 15 or 5 minutes to see how this market is, how the candlesticks are closing and building, to determine, is it going to continue going down like all the way down here, or is it just a little test and it's going to reverse up? Because you won't know on the hourly until you wait for the hourly to close, and that's a whole hour. Not to say that's not good to wait, because that's a good patient developer is to wait for the hourly candle to close. But if you want to make sure, you confirm by looking at how the 5-minute candles are closing, in conjunction with the hour.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, like say right here, if I held my stop loss, my trade wouldn't get stopped up for sure until this candle went straight through.
Wow, it ran through it. There you go.
Ran straight through it. And 10 times out of 10, I probably would have got back in the buy. 2 reasons: because it didn't close below this low, and it didn't show any kind of candlesticks forming that it wanted to continue low. Like this one right here definitely was showing me that it potentially could have popped back up.
Right.
And the reason why I noticed that, because this big ass bearish candle looked weird as hell. When you got all this structure going and you got one big ass candle forming, breaking that, what I expect to see is another big ass candle going further down, because all the pressure is in the sales. But
so everybody gonna start trying to either jump in or jump out.
Yeah. Or the big banks are putting all their sales in, and they making the market go down, so everybody will. But that ain't happening, because you didn't see another candle push down further. So that was clues let me know that this whole move down was a fake out. Like that was just all this move was to hit people's stop losses that was below here and below here. That's all this was. That's how you got to train yourself to think about the shit.
Right.
Like it wasn't a real move down based like this one. Like this one had a little bit more flow because it came down, came back up, but didn't go above this high, and then continue to go back down and break this low and this low. Like that was a little bit of that was better flow.
Right. Okay.
Versus this shit. And then no continuation afterwards. Like, yeah, I would have bought that all day. Like I love seeing big ass candles like this that go against the trend that I'm seeing. And then I don't see a continuation down. Like, oh yeah, I'm about to buy that because it's
okay. So you saying that continuation down is that next candle?
Yeah, that next candle that's gonna this is continuation. Like
right there.
Like when it's going up, and you see how this candle got a high right here.
Yeah. This
next candle took out that high, created another high.
Even more. Yeah.
This candle kind of went up to the high, but didn't break the low. We know for sure that's a confirmation. It didn't break the low, just like this candle didn't break this low. And then you got another candle pushing up higher. And then this one kind of like, you know, it came up but didn't, like, that's like continuation in a bullish formation. This right here wasn't a continuation, it was more of a fake out with it, because it faked a lot of people out, like retail traders like us. They're like, oh, market going down, I'm about to take sales and shit.
And then it shot up on the
and then it shot up on theirs, and everybody lost again. And then not only did it shoot up again, a lot of people saw this shoot up, and they be like, "Oh,
continue to go up."
Yep, and then it did. It didn't break this high.
1700.
Exactly, and came right back down. So it's like, it's always best. Like, one of the key things, best to wait for the candles to close. Yeah. Cause shit, when this candle was moving right here and started to go higher, that's when everybody was like, "Oh yeah, we going higher." This was the
buy,
and this is the buy, and like, nope, it never closed above. If you'd have waited for this candle to close, you'd have realized it came up and then it closed bearish, and then the next two candles didn't close above that high. So that's even more confirmation that as soon as price started breaking these lows, or you can even just wait for this candle to close. Bam, candle close. Bam, you could have entered right here, put your stop loss above the recent high and just let the price ride out, and your target would have been either the low of this buy or pretty much anywhere in this area, you know, or
a good safe bet you were saying is right there where you were at on that lower.
Yeah, right. A safe bet is right here. So if you entered in right here, which is 67.69, your take profit would have been at 67.44. So that's well over 20 pips, like about 25 pips.
Right. And if you wanted to risk it and ride it a little more, where would you have said then?
You gotta ride it out and see. Like, I don't know. That's the unknown question, and that's what the structure allows you to see. So it's like, say if you entered here because you saw it broke all these lows right here and closed, so you more sure that it's going bearish. You entered here, first target right here, bam, you hit your target, you out the trade type shit. Or you could take small amounts of profit off, and that's other brokers allow you to do that shit. But on Oanda, you get out the whole trade on your take profit.
Right.
Bam. So you out the trade. If you wasn't out the trade and you was gonna hold it longer, then two ways you could do it is, one, you either let your stop loss stay up here, and as long as the stop don't get hit, you stay in the trade until you see a candlestick pattern or something, because you gotta get out the trade at some point. You can't just let it ride forever, because it's gonna come back up like it did right here and take you out.
You ain't gonna know what. Yeah, you ain't gonna know what to do with your money. It's gonna
facts, because you right here, July 13th in the morning, or not in the morning. This is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If you would have held it, it would have stopped you out July 15th, 2 days later in the morning. Like, you would have held all this profit.
That'd have been a long ass hold.
It would have been a long ass hold, and you would have had a hell of a lot of chance to get out the trade and take your profit, versus expecting it to go way down here or some shit.
Right.
And then it came back up. So the best way to get out the trade is, one, let it hit your stop loss.
Okay.
Or have a predetermined area of take profit. And that's why I say, if you see it going bearish and it got a previous low, whether it was a conjunction of the bodies of the candle or the wicks, which is way down here, you set your take profit here. So your take profit, one, could have been a body of these lows, and your second take profit could have been a low of these wicks. Now, granted, this one never got hit until way over here the next day, July 14th, 6 o'clock in the morning. This one got hit pretty much instantly, like, you know, within 4 or 5 hours. This one got hit. So cool.
15 to 17, yeah.
Another thing is, if you would have held and didn't get out of this trade at the first take profit, your stop loss would have almost got hit, because price came here, and then it also came way back up here where your stop loss is up here. You wouldn't have got stopped out, but it would have made you hella nervous to be up,
Like, damn, do I want to
say,
keep losing
yeah,
that
like
money or what?
exactly, nigga. Like you
Yeah.
say, if you had a nice trade on, you took in and up right here, you up like $1,000.
Yeah.
But then when you get, if you entered right here and the price up here, you probably
You
negative
like,
$800.
oh yeah,
Yeah, you like, damn, I was
damn,
up
so I just
1,000 now. Damn, do I get out at this loss? Do I take this L and take, my $800 loss?
yeah.
Or it's what you don't want to do. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you ever get into the situation, like, please print this into your head. Like, if it gets to this point where you miss your opportunity to take your profit, and it's all the way up here and your stop loss right here, do not take your stop loss and then move it higher to up here.
Right.
Thinking that I'm gonna move it out the way so it
stop
won't
it
get
out,
stopped
and
out.
then motherfucker
No,
gonna really
because what's
run all
gonna
the way up
happen?
there.
It's gonna run up there and you're gonna be stopped out for $2,000 negative.
Yeah.
Like, what the best thing I could tell you is take that L, bro.
Yeah.
Take that $800 loss.
Be able to take an
Eat
L.
that shit. Now, eat it, take it, because what's guaranteed to happen next, like not a possibility, is you gonna have another opportunity to take a trade that you gonna make all that money back, like dead ass, like not maybe, for sure, 100%. You gonna have another trade where you gonna be able to make all that shit back. Big facts. But if you move your stop loss up higher and market go higher, now you got more work to make your money back. That's always, you got to look at it like, yeah, you took a loss, you got to make the money. If you move it up here and it go up, now you gotta work like 2 or 3 days to make your money back, maybe.
Whereas
like
you could have just
always
bounced back the next day or the next week.
Exactly. Just take the L, nigga. Like, even though it's gonna hurt, like you was up 1,000, you was thinking about all the shit you could do with the money, how you gonna stack it, and then you negative 800, nigga, just take the L. And then it's gonna hurt because you gonna see it. Maybe you took your L and then they shoot all the way down, and right here you was up 1,000, and if you would have held, now you would have been up 3 bands. Yeah, nigga, it's gonna fuck with you. But how you gotta look at it is like, okay, you came down here, you didn't make your, you got your $800 loss. Right here, it came down and reversed and started showing signs that it's moving up. Like, you got a lower low right here, and then it came down right here, started trading lower, but it didn't break this low per se to continue down here, and it started trading up. I would take this buy right here in this area, and you got a target right here, the previous highs, and your next target, these previous highs, or the previous highs from that last trade. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even if you wait for another day, you always got another opportunity to make that money back
in it. Yeah,
exactly. Like, it ain't like, oh fuck, nigga, I lost 800. Fuck this trade and shit. Like, nah, nigga, that's a lesson. I bet you won't do that shit no more. Like, that's the type of lesson. And then another lesson too is take your 10 pips, nigga. Like, when you up here, you up here and you in trade, and it come down to here, put your take profit or put your stop loss to where you go lock in 10 pips. Like, say if you entered right here, and 10 pips is like right up in here, even though you'll take profit down here, but you at 10 pips right here, nigga, take your stop loss from up here and drag it and move it to right there. So even if the market go up like it did right here, you locked in your 10 pips. And you could get back in. So say you see the market going up,
pop, it hit and it go back.
You could, you see it going up. It created this little high right here and started to go down, but then the market did some dumb shit and went all the way back up and tapped a little bit higher than that, but didn't close above here. And then you see the market going back down. Oh, get into another sell. And now you got targets right here, these lows, or even the old targets at these old lows right here. And both of them got hit with this one candle. Bam and bam, with this one candle got hit. So, and you could take your profit out right there, because shit, not only did it hit this low, it also took out these lows. Bam, and this one candle. So you good. All this shit, this extra bottom, that's free money that you don't know. Nobody knows when it's go turn around from. At least when you're looking at this low, and this low, you got previous price action that's
Right.
giving you targets to hit. When it's down here, when it done broke this low and coming down here, you don't know what the hell it's about to do. It could keep going lower or it could turn around. And the only way you'll be able to catch that shit is if you already in a trade from up here.
Right.
Yeah, don't be trying to catch sales from here like, oh, it broke this low, it's still going down. Let me get into a sale, because 10 times out of 10, that's exactly where that bitch about to reverse from. And I've been saying this shit for 4-5 years, nigga. Like, it will reverse from that point.
Right.
Big facts. But if you like I said, your entries should be time based. Like, if anything, like you should learn to create a rule based type of system for yourself to where, like, I only enter trades in the Asian session or the New York session. Meaning
Right.
in the morning, which is, you know, sometime maybe hard for you because of your work schedule, or in the late evening from like 8 to noon, 8 to midnight. Which, you know, if you up playing a game, chilling, watching TV, a good strategy for you to start doing, just watch the hourly time frame, them 4 hours before you go to bed, like from 7 to 11, 8 to 12, nigga, 6 to 10, whatever your little time frame at the house. Just watch how they close. Just wait for the hourly candle to close. Don't even look to baby trade, but just look at the candles and look how they close. As simple as that. Just train your brain to have that patience to wait for the candle to close.
Start popping it up, just having it up. Every time I start, I open up the Oanda, Mackenzie be like, "Daddy, you got a meeting?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying to study. I'm trying to study a little bit, but she know on Sundays for sure I got a meeting."
And see, her brain already trained.
Uh-huh.
You know, like simple as that, just from seeing that. Like, being repetitive and consistent is
You
great.
lost her what?
I washed myself.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right, y'all go ahead and go hang
I'm
out.
looking for something to tie her hair up with. I have something. No, Nana.
Yeah, that was a fire ass intro right there. So,
What's that? That's just the recent one, huh?
yeah, it's starting to push up.
Yeah.
It's still swinging low right here. I guess a lot of people trade like candlesticks, candlestick patterns.
Yeah.
And just wait for shit to form. Like a certain one, like this one, is called Head and Shoulders. And basically what it is, this is a shoulder, this is a shoulder, and
Okay.
this the head.
Oh, because it's just based on where it's at, how it's set up.
Yeah. They and you gotta. It's a patient formation because you gotta wait for this type of shit to happen, like a lower point,
A real low.
a real low. Then it pushes higher. That's the key thing for this setup is it gotta push higher than this little swing. When it creates this low and pushes up, whatever that high is, this part right here gotta be higher than that. And then it comes back down and creates a similar type price point as this low, which it did right here. It's not exact, but it's similar. And then you would buy based on the push higher from here. Like, some people just trade that shit. They just look for that to happen.
Right.
You know, like, you could just scroll back and kind of find them. They're rare, but and then they better to find on like the higher time frame, like the 1 hour, 4 hour daily. it's just different ways to locate trades and be patient about it. Yeah, we're gonna see what this news looking like right quick. Oh, we got news in
2 hours.
2.5 hours. Yeah, at 11.
I was about to say, yeah, that's about 11, huh?
Yeah. So that should push the market around tonight if you're in any trades.
Start something for the week.
Mm-hmm. And on Monday, got something again in the evening at 8:30. Australian dollar. Tuesday, housing starts, which that's a rare one. I don't really remember seeing this news release, but it's high and it's in the morning, so that'll add to that morning volatility. Like I said, that crossover, that London New York crossover time is a lot of volatility in the morning to catch quick 10 pips. But you got that, then you got Australian news. That's the governor doing a speech around like 6:10 in the evening. And on Wednesday, we got existing home sales for the U.S. High news release at 9 in the morning. Nothing at night. Thursday, same news release every Thursday, every week. Continuing jobless claims, initial jobless claims. So I just basically talk about the strength of the job market.
Mm-hmm.
That's early in the morning, 7:30. Got some Australian news at 6 o'clock in the evening. And Friday, got a little news, some S&P, global services and manufacturing, 8:45 in the morning. So,
man, I've been catching little dividends on Robinhood.
Nice. What you got? What been paying you?
Just the S&P 500.
Oh, you getting paid dividends off of that? Off of holding that?
Yes, sir. For every share, I think it's like right now it was like $2 and something for every share.
Nice.
So I'm gonna keep that rolling. Throw a little bit in there and just let that keep. And then I got it reinvested. So go ahead, just keep putting it in it to
So
keep
all your
adding it into.
profits keep going back in.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up, my boy.
Been trying to get some other, I've been looking at this. I've been, working to fund everything, trying to find little avenues here and there.
You're in the right mode, bro. Stop. Like anything that's paying you, whether it's real estate, your job, nigga, your side hustle, stock market. I mean, Forex is more active. I mean, it's like a job replacer. It's like a I look at it like a profit grabber, an instant profit grabber, or a risk, an instant risk management system. Like where you could put risk out there and potentially make profits or losses, but you get to manage that shit like instantly right there at the grasp of your hands. With the stock market, you just your best thing with that is just consistently throw money in it every week, every month, just blindly. Don't even worry about it going up or down, sideways or whatever. Just blindly throw money in it and own more of the company. That's your biggest goal, is to keep owning more of the company that's paying you dividends.
Yes, sir.
Because,
and see, that's kind of what I've been doing, throwing a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah, man. Nah, you're on the right mode. Because I look at the stock market like real estate. Like,
Mm-hmm.
as long as you got some stuff, some companies is paying you dividends. It's like owning a rent house.
Man,
You know,
Walgreens paying a little bit.
nah, bro, it's
Uh,
a long list of them that pay.
man, it's a whole AT&T, a little bit here, a little bit there.
I think Coke pay too.
Mm-hmm. And see, really, what I've been trying to do with that is I play the game so much. I buy stuff here, I buy this here, I go buy food here, I go do that here. So I've been trying to take that money, and it's like when I think about spending money, I calculate how much it is, and I move it, and then by the end of the week, I try to take that and invest it into the money that, into the companies that are paying me.
Facts. Nah, that's smart, bro. I mean, you getting a consistent return every month, regardless what
Man,
happens.
yep.
That's what I like about it. And even if the market drop, you getting better pricing if you keep buying.
Exactly.
They call that shit dollar cost averaging. You buy average prices every week or every month, whatever you set your account to do consistently. It just keep taking money out of your bank and buying shares of the company. Like that shit is dope.
Yep.
People do it with crypto too.
Oh yeah, buy more, get more in, and buy more in.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful thing, man. Invest in your wealth.
Oh yeah.
I'm starting to see all these inflated markets starting to crash. Though I've been reading articles about the watch industry. I don't know if you hip on any of that. How these watches been going up in value the past 5 years plus.
Man, I hadn't seen much of it.
Yeah, man. Like it kind of it took a whole life after COVID and shit with the supply chain issues and certain companies couldn't provide products as fast as they wanted to. So
Right.
that
Couldn't keep
made
up.
they couldn't keep up, so the price go up. So if it's a rare item and you can't keep making it, that means the price go up, and that's what happened in that market. That's what happened with everything basically. And then you got inflation on top of that. So,
Yep.
but
Everybody
now,
feeling like everybody feeling like
yeah,
they gotta charge more now because this went up, that went up. So now I gotta charge more.
facts, facts.
Hmm.
You started. It was people buying Rolex watches for like 20, 30 bands, and in 6 months, the watch increased in profit in like $5,000, $10,000. But now those prices are starting to drop.
Oh yeah, and I've been watching it. I've been witnessing it too. Every
Mm-hmm.
time I seen something drop, just listening to Warren Buffett and what he be talking about and the Wall Street
Facts.
Trapper. Every time something drop, I'm dumping money into it.
That's smart.
I got to
That's
because I'm
smart.
dumping money into other stuff that ain't worth nothing. So when this do flip and it get more, and it
Yeah.
go right back up.
Yep. Which you always will.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be crazy. It's basically like the same shit that happened in 2008 when I caught that Ford play when
Ooh.
all those big motor car companies was going
Mm-hmm.
under and the banks was bailing them out.
Ooh. And see
Yeah.
what my goal is if I stick to it and get keep pushing it, put 10,000 into that. If I can get 10,000 into that, 10,000 into this by the
Hmm.
end, you know what I mean, for a year's time span, not necessarily the end of the year, but in a year's time span,
Right.
I got a lot to work with, a lot to play with.
Facts. Let's go do the same thing for the housing market too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
When that shit drop and crash, it's gonna
real
be
estate.
a perfect time to buy. So basically what I did there, and I hopped into a tester buy right here because it came down to the point where I wanted to enter it. It's
Right.
the only reason why I got into buys. Basically, once this candle on the 15 minutes started pushing higher and how it closed above this one, that let me know that I think we got a good chance of price possibly continuing higher. So I missed out on that move. And then once price came back down, I got in the buys because I still believe in this truthful bullish situation I planned out. Now, what would make me get out of this trade is if on the 5 or the 15 minute, we start seeing prices close below these lows down here.
Right.
If that don't happen,
mm-hmm.
I'll stay in this buy. And if I want to look at targets, this right here, this green line is the high of the previous day. So right now we already breaking past an important price area. So the fact that we bouncing off this, that can add to my reasoning for wanting to hop into buys. You know, because this is the previous day's high, this is the previous day's low, and this is the open price based on New York time, meaning midnight. And that goes all the way back to here. Where's midnight? Right there. So right where this candle open, that's why I got this purple line. That's the open, low, high. And right now, we're breaking that high. So if I want to look at targets, where would I expect price to go to? I go to the higher time frame. And just like we drew them lines before, I think I drew them on the daily. Yeah. And I made a post about this. Actually, the post I just posted on the page, on the IG page, I was saying this would be the next target, this yellow line right here. And if it breaks past that, I got targets up here next. And this price is 70 cents. And I chose this price because it goes in line with this old double bottom area from last year and the beginning of this year. And I could refine this and bring it down a little bit lower. All right, up, and that's a little cleaner. So right there, that's a target. We break past this, that's my next target. So 15 minute is right up here. So this is what I'm expecting price to continue to do, is to trade up into this area.
Sheesh. Big money.
But we don't know. We got news coming out at 11, so all that could change. It did. All can change. I really don't like to be in trades while news release is about to come out, because
that's when it changes and switch it up.
Oh man, it could do this weird shit like pop up weird, all this pop up weird shit like this go all the way
it could
down.
just take a dump.
Yeah, on some weird shit. So we got a stop loss down here. And it's always a good rule of thumb to put your stop loss like a pip or two below the low. So if our low is 67, let me see what the actual low. 67.97. I put my stop loss at 67.95 right there.
Yeah.
Then I take profit, it'll be up here. So we got a 12 pip stop loss and a roughly, I'm already up a pip, so down there like a strong 50 pip. So that's a good 1 to 4 trade, meaning I'm risking 1 to make 4. And what I
Right.
mean by that is this 1 is equating to my 12 pip stop loss, but I'm just gonna round it down to 10 just because to make sense. And then I'm trying to get to 50, from 10 to 50, to 60 really. So that's 50 pips. So that's 1 to 5 really, not 1 to 4, 1 to 5. So I'm risking 1 to make 5, so to speak. Hella choppy. These last, what, the 11th? What was the 11th? That was Monday. Damn, so that whole week was choppy. Yeah, all last week.
Yeah.
From Monday to Friday, it was just
That's kind of
down,
look, and honestly,
down,
I didn't even look at the chart much, but
yeah,
just looking at the chat, it just
yeah,
seemed like it was choppy just the way,
facts.
just the
Like,
how the
especially
messages and
when we
stuff was
ain't chatting
going.
a lot.
Right, and that's
But
why I was like, okay,
yeah,
it must
but
be a
ain't a lot
consolidation.
going
Most of the
on.
time, that's how it is. When it's in consolidation, I know how the chat's going.
Yeah, it ain't nothing to talk about because
Yeah,
no highs got broken. I mean, you could really say this high got broken right here, but when you looking at this low, the high you're really talking about is up here.
right,
That never got broken. And this low didn't really get broken. And the reason I say that because I know we on a 1 hour time frame. That's the only reason. Like, granted, it's a false statement. I said it because this is the low and it got broke right here. But it didn't continue its bearish formation like one would think, being that you broke this strong low right here. All you did was create one candle that came way down here but didn't close down there. It closed way back up here.
right.
Then this candle couldn't even break this low. It went all the way down here but closed way up here, and it closed bullish. Then you got this candle shooting up way higher. So even if you didn't catch this buy, that whole little situation, the fact that it didn't close below this low and broke all the way up here type shit, that let me know that this whole move was a fake out. That faked people into thinking that we was in sales and it was going to continue lower. And as you can see, it never reached this low point again. It started pushing higher and higher. So, like, a lot of people look at that as like, oh, it broke a low. Like, yeah, it broke it, but when you look at the 4 hour, the daily, and higher, that ain't nothing but a wick. This little swing low right here, that ain't nothing but a wick.
Right.
So that goes to say, like, it's just been choppy. It's been up and down, up and down, up and down. It ain't really done no strong movement. Like, the last strong movement was this sell. That's why me and Jay kind of both agreed that, you know, we could see bearish movement more because that's what it's been doing. Like, you know, it's been kind of choppy right here, so to speak, and then you get this big drop that take out all this shit. So that was just the bears letting you know, like, nigga, nobody want to contest with us. Like, we good. We going down. That's the damn show. You either gonna ride the wave or you gonna get ran over. Simple as that. Like, we taking our lows from way back here. This is strong support. Touch once, twice, 3, 4 times, and then it broke it right here. And look at the body of it. Look at the size of these candles that it took to break this low. Big ass candles. There wasn't none of these little babies. These little babies, it was the big boys.
It looked like it just ran through it.
Big facts. That's another key thing that I learned from, I forgot this dude's name, but I know he wrote a, damn, did he? I want to say the nigga named Nathan. It's like he an Indian looking guy, but his last name start with a P. But one thing that stuck to me, he said, when it's a strong support, meaning price touched a certain area, more than 3 times, which it did right here, touched it once, 2, 3, 4 times and couldn't break below. Like typically when price does break below, it does it in a big body ass candle, something like this or something like this. You don't really see it break through in this. And if it does, that's kind of leaning more towards like, yeah, it's gonna break through, but it's about to turn around and pop right back up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like how it did right here. Like this, not really the best example, but this was a strong rejection because price went back up and it turned right back around and filled this whole price. Like it was a strong rejection. They didn't think about it, and it took this big ass body to break through that. Like it's just shit you see like that. You would start to notice.
Right.
Like here, like price tried to break up. Price tried to break up, so that was like a somewhat mediocre, strong area, and then this big body had to break above it. Like same thing right here. Just tried to break low, then it had a big body to break through. Like you'll just see certain things how price try to react to strong areas that let you know like, are we playing or are we moving?
Right.
And you could anticipate what's gonna happen next. And you would be surprised. You start thinking you're a damn wizard, nigga. You used to be like, oh yeah, the market about to turn around right here, and then it does it. You'd be like, oh shit, boy, like I got this shit. Like,
right,
yeah, babe, let's sell a house, sell a cars, and I'm about to, start making 30 bands a day. That's what it start to feel like once that patience really kick in, and you accept losses, and your trade and your direction start to play out.
right. Patient, being accountable.
Man, and you got an area where you willing to take a loss at, even while I'm up right now. Yeah, we in private right now, but that don't mean shit. Like I'm expecting to go up here. So all I don't want is it to break this low. It could go up here, do this shit, do all kind of crazy shit. As long as it don't break this low, I'm good.
Right.
And you just monitor that shit. And as soon as I get into like 15 going into 20 pips in profit, I'm gonna take this, break this stop loss, and I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna lock it in the 10 pips. Wherever is my 10 pips. So I entered at 68.08, so 68.18 right here. Once we break past this and start to move higher, I'm gonna take the stop loss and move it right there.
Yeah.
That way, no matter what, I'm locking in 10 pips. No matter what the fuck happened, I'm good. I can go to sleep. I could go in a coma. I could go to jail. I know for sure I'm getting them 10 pips.
That's money in the bank.
Money in the bank. And if it keep going higher, then my profit is increasing. And I'm going to keep moving my stop loss up to lock that money in the bank. And that's all you doing. That's all trading is. Simple as that. Managing risk. It's like all these candlesticks are employees. You're managing them niggas. Yeah. As far as how structure is looking, I would have to look at the 4 hour to really see when you could say we are bullish. But if I had to pick, I would say this high right here, this swing low. Once we break this, that's when you can start to say we in a bullish trend. Even though we got this high up here to really break
Right.
way up in June. But you can start to say the bullish trend and start to form if we break this. We don't know. All I do know is I see more big red candles right here, right here, right here than I see green. And that alone speaks volumes. Before I even just look at structure, like you could simplify the fuck out this shit, nigga. Just look at the candle size. Who is bigger? Who winning? Yes. For sure set on this price.
It's rising.
It's rising. But if we break above, chances are we may start to hit this level, maybe this area, maybe even this area. Because this is a strong area. This price hit this twice. Couldn't really break above. So typically the market likes to test strong areas of liquidity. And you can find areas of liquidity where price couldn't break through, and it's a lot of people holding stop losses. That's swing traders, like the big long-term swing traders. These niggas be having like millions of dollars in their account, so they stop loss be big as hell. But that is nothing for us to worry about because we only here to grab quick pips and move on to the next.
Snatch and grab.
Snatch and grab.
We right on time. They down there barbecuing some ribs.
Who that?
My pops, my mom and them over there cooking. Trying to eat some food.
Real? How far away you stay from Farmers Branch?
Matlock and Harris back over by the old crib. The old crib. Yeah, I'm back over there.
Shit, I kind of remember where that hole at too.
Yeah. Wasn't nothing but a street over there from Eden.
Big facts. So, just to recap what's going on, I'm gonna start from the highest time frame, which is the weekly. Like I said, our first level of strong support was here. It's the end of last year, beginning of this year. We broke that in May, reversed, broke it again around middle of June. Not only did we break that, but we broke the low that initially broke this strong support towards July and created somewhat of a strong support right here at these lows, and we broke through that. We didn't close through it yet, but this last week we broke through it. If we are continuing bearish, then I want to see price not only get to this level, but break through it. You know, no more playing, no more testing. Like I want to see some action. Because if not, we are poised for a nice strong turnaround to the upside from all this selling pressure. You know, we've been, I mean, it's kind of up and down, but for the most part, since March, we've been bearish. You know, so for the most of the year, we've been bearish. So, and looking at the daily, I see how price is moving away from these lows. So if we continue higher, then I'm gonna feel more confident that the bulls are starting to step into place and hold strong orders and have a whole lot of money risking that market is gonna push up.
Running it up, literally.
Yeah, or they just go make the market go up by buying a lot of buy orders and making price go higher to make retail traders continue to follow that flow and buy it as it continues to go higher. But we won't know that until we close, not peak above, but close above this area on a daily. So no smaller time frame, no 4 hour, no 1 hour. I don't care if the 1 hour go above this. Yeah, of course it's gonna take me out, hit my take profit. But as far as it switching to the bulls, I need to close above here on a daily, and that could take anywhere from a day or two from now. So that's a whole lot of patience to wait. But until then, I'm gonna trade what I see, and if I drop down to the 1 hour, I do see this low created under here, then continue down. So I'm gonna label that as a fake out, which is a prime area for market to turn around and continue higher. And the fact that it turned around right here and didn't test these lows, but it continued higher, that's kind of add more to that confirmation that the bulls could be in play to push this market higher past all these previous higher lows that we've been seeing over the course of the weeks. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower highs in this area, even though we did move above this, but got lower highs right here. And now we're starting to break above this. So the next strong area is this situation up here. With that being said, we're gonna continue to monitor this trade and see what it do. But you already know, get at us, follow us, like us, love us, and continue to
subscribe
on the YouTube. You already know, we're gonna have every 8 to 9.
Love, peace, and soul.
And with my dog, and we out. I'm gonna holler at you, my boy.
Yeah, boys, be safe. Everybody take it easy.
One.